Hey guys, this is Ethan. You know, Brago play leader last spring, all that jazz. And I'm gonna be doing a travel talk video with you guys today about another national park. If you watched my other travel talk videos, I think they're all about national parks so far, like Grand Canyon, Yellowstone. But today we're gonna be talking about Sequoia and Kings Canyon because those are two different parks technically, but they're pretty close to each other, which are both out in California. Um, let's get into it. So I can share my screen. Share. All right, perfect. So Sequoia and Kings Canyon, both in California, both pretty close to Los Angeles. I mean, because of like LA traffic, it takes a while to drive from these parks into the city, but you know, they're only, if the traffic wasn't, it was like pretty normal traffic, was just like Bethlehem traffic, it'd probably be like 45 minutes away. So do with that what you will. um but yeah, so just to get into it, um this I went in 2018. Yeah. um so that was, oh my word, that's 3 years ago already. Yikes. um this was another trip that I did with my Boy Scout troop. So this is just me taking pictures of the plane outside the window. Um, yeah, let's put that above. All right. Yeah, it's just pictures out of the window of the plane. And this, again, classic. What I do like every time I go somewhere is I like to snag pictures out of the car window. Uh, I don't know. Just again, you can see really pretty views even when you're just driving on a road. So um, this is, again, I think, out of a window. I think it's a pretty cool pic. This one, I got a bunch of glare. It's not that great, I guess. Um, yeah, there's more stuff. I think, yeah, okay. All right. So the reason Sequoia National Park is called Sequoia National Park is because of these sequoia trees. Um, you know, and these are very similar to, if you guys have ever heard of like the redwood forest, redwood trees. These trees are hundreds of feet tall, hundreds of years old. Um, and I don't know. They're really cool. It doesn't it do, I can't do it justice just talking about it in like a video. But like if you go there and you see it and you just look up and you see this huge tree that looks like a skyscraper, it's kind of flooring. You're like, "Oh my God, I've never felt so small." It's kind of like when you look out in the ocean. Sometimes you're like, "Wow, that's a lot of water." Like that's really big. But yeah. Um these are, some of the oldest trees in the world, especially in definitely in the country. Um, is just a picture of, information. Back in like the 1800s, so like 200 years ago, a lot of people in California were coming. Like if you ever heard about the gold rush, a bunch of people were going out to California to mine for gold, to dig gold up. But a lot of people also, because when they moved out to California, they had to build settlements, they had to build towns and houses and stuff. They came out here because they saw these huge trees and figured, oh, if we cut down one tree, uh, you know, like cutting down one tree, even though it's like a day's worth of work, uh, for a dozen guys, uh, it was enough wood to build like 5 homes. Um, They ran into a little trouble with that actually though, because something I learned when I was here is that uh, because sequoia trees have kind of evolved, they've changed and developed to not to be pretty fireproof. They actually break apart really easily. Like they don't splinter so much as they shatter. Like if you like took a rock, or like it took like let's say you like take a piece of ice, like an ice cube, and smash it on a table, you'll get like chunks of ice, like little shards. That's what happens when you cut down one of these trees and it falls over. It shatters into a bunch of fragments. Um, and so they learned really quickly that it just wasn't worth cutting these trees down, because you cut down a tree and you get like a fifth of however much wood that tree was. You get like a fifth, like 20% of it, of actually usable lumber to build stuff with. Um, so I guess kind of like a happy happenstance in nature, because if it weren't for that, a lot of these trees probably a lot more of these trees would have been cut down, and we wouldn't be able to go to this park and see these beautiful plants. Again, they just shoot straight up. They're gigantic. And keep in mind, because they're so tall, these trees around, these are like 20, 30 feet around. Like if you took a tape measure and just circled around the tree, it's bonkers. It's like 10 yards. But yeah, these are more trees. Um, that's just my friend. Again, because this is a Boy Scout troop. Um, Troop 4, if you see. Yeah, that's just my troop. But yeah, they're just the really, really cool trees. That's a really good picture, just looking straight up. Um, yeah. Yeah, if you look at that, they're probably like 10, 15 feet away from the bottom of the tree. And I think that guy was probably like 5 feet 10 inches, maybe. So I mean, you can see just how tiny that tree makes him look. And he wasn't like a small person. That this picture actually kind of hit me. Just like normal people look like little specks next to these trees. But yeah, this is us eating lunch, I think. More trees. There's kind of touristy destinations. Like when we went, we did a big 50-mile hike, but we also went to tourist spots where there's pathways and tour guides and stuff. And I learned that fact about how the trees like shatter apart from a tour guide. So yeah, just monstrous. Look at that. I think that's one of my friend's dads, because I think that's one of the troop shirts. I don't think that lady's with us. I think he's just next to her. Um, it just looks so big. It's so crazy, especially when you go and look at it. Ooh, this is cool. Okay. So these trees, although they native to California, if you've ever heard about the California wildfires, um, and so but they evolved to try and be kind of fireproof. So there's something about how much air there is in them, which is part a big reason why they shatter, and also the resin, like the sap that they have, is fireproof basically, so they don't burn easily. This tree was struck by lightning, a while ago, and you can see that this is like a third or like a half of the tree just still standing, even though it's completely charred out on one side. Um, they're super tall, but that also means that their roots are just going on for like a mile around underground. Their roots splay out in like the size of a town underground. It's wild. This is a tree that got downed, I think, in a storm or something, and they decided, instead of just moving it or like cutting all the way through, they just cut a little tunnel. But yeah, yeah, yeah. How about this? This is actually a good example. You could probably fit a small car through that little tunnel. Like you could probably fit like a Prius, or like maybe not, maybe like a smart car, but like you could fit a small car through that space. So that gives you kind of an idea of just how big these trees are. All right, I'll stop talking about the trees. Ooh, yeah. After I show you this one got struck by lightning, and it like on the ends, it's got struck at an angle, and it burned through, like it hollowed out the inside, but the bark was still standing. So all this in the middle is just a burnt out tree, but the bark stayed standing. Yeah. Okay. Enough about the trees. Um, it's my dad. But yeah. All right. Ooh, this is probably, yeah, this is the one. I think this is one of my favorite pictures I took. This is at a little lookout point we found. It's just the same lookout. Yeah. This is just like the top of a mountain that you could drive to. That's just an edited version of the photo that I have, I suppose. All right. Um, yes, perfect. Okay. So this was a picture from the first day of our 50-mile hike. We hiked for like 6 days. Um, like a little bit less than kind of like roughly averaging 7-ish miles a day, I guess. 7 times 6 is 42. More like 8 miles a day because like 8 times 6 is 48. Yeah, like we averaged about like 8 miles a day. Um, some days were longer, some days were more like 11 miles, and some days were shorter. Like the last day was like 3.5 miles. Um, anyway, but this is if I remember, they call this specific area the oven because the way it's surrounded by mountains on all sides, it kind of, the sun beats down and it reflects all the heat inward. So standing right here was probably like 110 degrees. It was kind of awful. Um, so you were kind of dying to find a spot that had some decent shade so you could take a break, drink some water. These are just some more views that you can see. Again, feel free to pause the video at any time. I don't want to linger too long on any photo. I don't want to like waste your time, I guess. I don't know. This is the rest of my group. That's one of my best friends, Jordan. He's from Australia. That's Nick. He's not from Australia. Yeah, and this is just the trail. So this is a good example of just what the trail looked like for most of the time we were hiking throughout the week. Just surrounded by a bunch of tall grass and shrubs, and these, like, I think those might be aspens, just a thin, small tree. It's Jordan again. Yes. All right. This is like our first campsite, and a deer came up and just was hanging with us for a while. That's our our patrol flag. Boy Scout troops are divided into patrols. So, picture of the deer. This is a picture of the campfire. That was a good photo. All right. Um, this is us later in the week. I forget exactly what day it was. But yeah, this area that they're standing on. They're standing on the top of a waterfall, so that's pretty cool. Um, yeah. Wait, is that me? That is me, looking very grumpy and very tired because that's like the fourth day out of the six. That's Jordan again. That's me. That's our friend John. That's Jordan's dad. Um, yeah, these are like our hiking packs. So that's what a hiking pack or hiking backpack looks like. See, we're wearing our big hiking boots. I think I have some food in my mouth because again, tired. um, I showed you that picture, I think. Yeah, I did. This is cool. So, California, if you didn't know, like the west half of the country is actually a lot higher elevation. It's a lot, higher than ocean level. For most of like the state, um, than like where I'm from in Boston. Boston is like at sea level, and then in California, the beaches are like big slopes down to the ocean. Like everything's above sea level, like really high up. So this is the first time that I ever went above 10,000 feet above sea level. Sea level is just what we mark elevation at. Um, but yeah, and so no fires beyond this point. That's because the wildlife above 10,000 feet, like the trees and the grass and everything, like the plants are really fragile. Like they're really it's really easy to damage them or kill them. So this is kind of just a whole thing where you're trying to protect the park so that more people in the future can come. You know, I've said it in another video, but a motto for the national parks is take only photos, leave only footprints. So it's like you don't leave any trash or anything. You leave your footprints in the dirt, you know, and you don't take anything. You don't take sticks or rocks. You take photos with your phone or camera. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Ooh, yeah. This is one of my favorite photos I took. This is actually probably one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. A single mountain kind of surrounded by like a valley on all sides and then other mountains around it. Again, an edited photo. Ooh, wait, hold on. Yes. All right. This is what I was looking for. Uh, when you're out in these national parks, you know, again, the whole point is to protect nature and plants and even animals that live here. Um, so I'm going to give you guys a second. Can you see an animal in this picture? No? It's really hard to see because it's camouflaged really well. But we saw this. I forget what it is. It looked kind of like a chinchilla, but I don't think there are chinchillas in California. Some kind of wild rodent. But let me zoom in. That guy. This right here, where my cursor is. If you can see my cursor. I hope you can see my cursor. That guy. He was a super small little fuzzy hamster chinchilla looking thing. He was so cute. Um and I don't know why I caught him because he caught my eye because he was moving. He was walking around the rocks and then he stopped and I was like, oh no, did I lose him? And then I pointed him out to the rest of my group once I found him again. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, so hard to see him. But yeah, this is so that he doesn't, you know, get picked up by birds and stuff that want to eat him. You know, the camouflage helps him blend in so they don't see him. All right, let's zoom back out. Yeah, now that you know where he is, it's probably easier, but looking at this photo the first time, it's really hard to see him. Yeah. This actually is at like the top of the mountain. Um, yeah, there's just a lot of cool scenery. Yeah. So this is actually this this is us when we're getting about to the tallest point that we got to, which was like 12,000 feet in the air, like 12,000 feet above sea level. And then this is us on our way back down. I think that's me. Yeah, that's me. That's Jordan and stuff. Um, but yeah, and this is us, you know, getting on our way back down to the campsite. Uh, oh, these photos are like kind of out of order. This is us. This like right over here is the highest point. Right over here is like 12,000 feet up. I was wondering where that photo was. All right, that's me and my dad. Really squinty because it's really bright out. Um, nice group photo. Me with my big sun hat. Yeah. It's Jordan posing for the photo. This is us like when we got back down to the elevation that our campsite was going to be at. So this is us after we've already like climbed down 2 or 3,000 feet. But yeah, this is just a picture of John Muir Trail, named after famous conservationist um, John Muir. Um, he was a very big, you know, we need to protect nature and natural beauty, and you know, there's kind of like a cool, almost like kind of religious, kind of like spiritual connection that people can have with nature if they look for it. He has a very famous quote. It's "The mountains are calling, and I must go," um, which is just a fun little quote from him, I guess. But yeah. All right. Let's. Oh yeah, this is us at our campsite. This is just me pointing my phone out of the tent, you know, screen door. I just think that's a cool photo. All right. Again, these are just like a bunch of really cool photos of us and like of the nature around us. Yeah. You just have that's me again. I think it's my dad taking pictures, obviously. So he was clearly trying to get a few photos of me. Oh, and this is us at our like second to last campsite. That's me, isn't it? Yes, that is me walking around the bridge. You can tell, you can see I'm kind of clenching my fists. That's because I'm kind of anxious because this bridge is another suspension bridge, which means when you're walking across it, it's really wobbly. Um, and so if you don't hold the wires on the sides, you kind of feel like you're gonna fall over, or like. But I mean, the wire isn't that far down. This is my friend Michael. This is our campsite. This tree was just in the middle. That's our tent. Uh, yeah, it's just another picture of campsite. This was a sun shower. Have you ever heard of a sun shower? It's like when it rains and it's super sunny out. I don't know. I don't know how common they are. I feel like I've rarely ever seen them, but it's really pretty. And then this is a bear that walked through our campsite. I was actually the first one to see a bear on the trip. It was this guy. He's kind of cinnamony colored, like kind of salt and peppery, black white ish. And he literally so hold on. Yeah. So I was standing like right here talking to one of my friends, and from like over here on the other side of the bridge, this guy, he's probably like a teenager. He's probably like 6 years old, uh, something like that. Uh, not like a baby or like a cub, but like not an adult bear yet. I don't know how old he was. I'm guessing, and he just kind of came walking up from the river, which is like below the bridge. And I was just talking to my friend, and I was talking, and then I just looked to the side because I saw something moving, and I just looked. I was like, that's a bear. So that was really cool. Wait, where is it? Pardon me. Yeah, I just I don't know. I get a huge kick out of seeing animals like this. It's actually not as scary as you might think. I think it would be scarier if it was a little baby bear, a cub, because the like mother bears, like mama bears, are kind of notoriously really dangerous and really protective. So if you get close to a really young bear, like a cub, that generally means the mom is somewhere close and you need to get out of there because the mom will definitely hurt you if you get too close to her baby. So that's something to look out for if you ever go into like bear country. But uh, with a bear this size, he was just old enough that we weren't really worried that the mom was going to come through. This is just more hiking, walking. And that is the second bear we saw the next day when we were hiking. This guy was little, so we figured mom had to be really close. But this picture's kind of zoomed in. He was, like 20 yards away uh, off the trail. But we definitely kept an eye out for mom because we did not want to get hurt. Look at him just sniffing the air. But yeah, that's actually the other side of the trail that this picture was taken. If you just look the other way, it's just a huge cliff down to water. All right. This is us at our last campsite. This is us crossing a river. What you do is you bring water shoes like sandals, but you don't want to use flip flops. You have to wear like Crocs and stuff. And and this is us because we were helping our friend John across, John right here, because he needed a hiking pole and he didn't have any. It's really helpful to have a hiking pole. See this thing to keep you stable. So this is after me and Michael had already brought our packs across, and we went back and brought poles to him. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just us with our troop flag, and this is us at the end. I am like passed out, I think. Because we hiked just 60 miles. Your legs are very tired. You're very exhausted, and you just kind of don't want to move. But yeah. All right. So that's it. These are just a bunch more pictures. This is us. I think we went to like Santa Monica on our way out. That's Nick. He's just passed out. This is the inside of a sequoia tree. Yeah, Santa Monica. So Santa Monica Pier, just a really famous beach area in LA. This is the beach. That's Pacific Ocean. This is the pier itself. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's the breakfast I had the day we were going back home in the hotel. So yeah. I'll stop sharing, and I think that's it, guys. Um, I know I talked a bunch. There was a lot of photos. But yeah, just I can't say it enough. Whenever I get the chance to take these amazing trips, they're so valuable to me. Like they're some of my favorite, times of my entire life. So see you guys.